Good morning, guys. Today is March 2nd, 2017. Now I'm actually not making any trades today, or I'm not trading at all today actually. The reason being is because yesterday I took a day away from markets. That was my first ever since January, I believe. I don't think I haven't taken like a day away from markets since January. So yesterday was definitely my first first day away, and the reason of it was I just kind of went into this downward spiral where February was a pretty red month for me. I had lots of big losses, over $100 losses, and it was just kind of, it started mentally affecting me, where I was just kind of like, man, like I can't seem to find an edge. I just need to walk away. And because of all that, I was just like, you know what? No, I just need to take a day off, and not worry about the markets, and then I'll come back in with a fresh plan. And so today, the plan I came back with is that I'm gonna take, from now on moving forward, for rest of for the month of March, I'm basically going to be trading very small. I think the problem is that in January I had a month where I was down 300, and in February I was down like 800. So the difference, because is that since I added lots of my money into my account, just because I felt like, January was a pretty good month for me. I kind of had some sort of consistency. I wasn't just losing, I was also winning. I felt like, if I can have a bigger account, I can take more sizes and I can make more money on my wins. Looking back in hindsight, I don't think that was a good idea. The reason being is because once I started going with big size, I was still losing. Overall, I was still losing. The only difference was I was losing more than what I lost in, in January. So because I was taking bigger size, I was losing more, and the reason I wasn't able to win was because I still don't have the perfect strategies down. I still feel like, yes, I understand the 1 minute and the 5 minute setups, but most of the time this past February, most of the videos where I did take a 5 minute setup or where I did take a 1 minute setup, it just didn't work out. And then few ticks down like half an hour later, or 10 minutes later, the stock moves or does exactly what I expected it to do. It just didn't do it when I was in it. So because of all that, it was just kind of like, I just can't seem to be on the right side of a good trade, like a trade where I have size, the stock does move 30, 40, 50 cents, and I just can't seem to get that, because every time I do jump in a stock, it doesn't do, or it goes away from me, and then it just curls back and it does exactly what it was supposed to do. So there was a lot of unpredictability, and I've noticed in February a lot of the setups weren't working properly, like a lot of the 1 minute pullbacks where they would have worked in other markets, where they would have worked, or I have seen them work in the past, they're just not working properly. So based on all that, I was just like, what, if I want to stick around, if I want to be in this game for a while, I need to switch things up. I need to realize what my mistakes are, and I need to do something about it. I need to realize what I'm lacking. And I think the thing I found is that I'm basically lacking the right amount of patience. I'm basically lacking, I don't put everything else into consideration. So if I'm trading off a 1 minute setup, what happens is I wouldn't consider a 5 minute setup. You know what I mean? I wouldn't consider how the stock looks on a 5 minute. I wouldn't consider how it looks on the 1 minute, what the volume looks like, and most of the times I make mistakes is because I'll jump in too early. And the volume would be telling me something else. Like, for example, the volume would be low, and it'll break out a little. It'll pop over something, a key number. It'll pop over, and I'll quickly jump in without realizing that, hey, this key number pop, it didn't bring any volume. So if it's not bringing any volume, that just means that nobody got excited about the stock going over. So for example, this stock, the one we're watching right now, AUPH, the only reason I have it up is just because I didn't really have any watch list this morning. I wasn't going to trade, so I didn't prepare anything, because most of the time if I do prepare something, and even if I say I'm not going to trade, I end up trading it just because it's like a mental thing. Sorry, just a second here. So basically, you know, there's some things that I'm not considering, and one thing, you know, this guy that follows me on Twitter, or we follow each other on Twitter, he messaged me, and he was just basically saying, based on some of the videos most of the he watches most of my videos, which is really nice to see, and you know what, he said that sometimes what I do is I go in on a 5-minute setup, but then I get out based on a 1-minute setup. And it's actually so true, because I actually went and reviewed some of my stuff, and it makes sense. It's like, you know, I'll go in for a break of this candle, but then I'll get out when a 1 minute starts, you know, pulling back. And it's just kind of like, well, wait a minute, I got in on a 5-minute setup. I need to see how that 5-minute candle is performing. I need to see if it's, you know, if it's holding, you know, if it's holding above a certain level, if it's, you know, if it's moving in my direction. I don't need to look at the 1 minute, because 1 minute can just be, you know, pulling back as the 5-minute makes a new high. And that could just be a 1 minute pullback, and then it'll just come back right up. So if I'm watching it, once the 1 minute starts pulling back and I'm like, oh, you know, the stock's moving away from me, I better sell. But then the 5-minute setup is still there. So those are the things that, as a trader, I think are the hardest, because you need to be you know, flexible enough to consider all these options. You need to understand you know, what could be going right on this 5-minute setup, what could be going wrong on this 5-minute setup. And just because of all those reasons, you know, I feel like I just need to what I need to start doing now is I need to scaling back on my size. I can always scale up once I feel comfortable enough, once I see some consistency, you know, earning $20 a day. And you know, the only reason I say earning $20 a day is because most of the times we're obviously trading to make money, and just realizing that fact, I think, is a big key. You know, some people are like, oh no, I'm just doing this for, you know, because I want to learn. No, bullshit. You're spending all that time because you want financial freedom. You want to be able to support, you know, you want to be able to earn and basically make a good living because of trading, right? So all those reasons, give this 5 minute here, you know, pull back, first 5 minutes to make a high at 354, goes all the way up to 380. See, now how it was pulling back here, and how it's pulling back on low volume, right, versus these candles, right? This is a bit lower volume, and then the volume comes back in, and that's the key. That's the key on 5-minute setup. That's the key on 1 minute setup. The volume has to come back in. If the volume doesn't come back in, then it just means that, you know, the stock is weak. People are not interested in it. So those are all the things that needs to be considered. Basically, those are all the things that needs to be in the back of my head while I trade, basically. You know, so basically what I'm going to start doing is scaling back on my size. My goal is for the month of March, I'm not going to take any position that is, you know, bigger than 300 shares. I think 300 shares is the most you know, viable option. You know, mostly I'm gonna try to stick between 100 to 200 shares. What that is gonna force me is, it's gonna force me to, first of all, only take trades that gonna have the potential to make, you know, 20-30 cents. Because if I'm only taking 200 shares, if I'm only taking 300 shares, I don't need to be in a stock that's only going to move 10 cents. You know what I mean? I need to go in a stock that has the strength, that has the, you know, the catalyst, that has low flow, that has momentum coming in, has volume building up, that's giving me a good setup. Like, look at this 5-minute setup. That's a great 5-minute setup, right? But again, if you look at it, I mean, on these candles, it, you know, got all the way up there, pushed down, got up there, pushed down. So for me to move in on this, I'll be a bit hesitant, because I'll be like, you know what, these candles are getting pushed down. You know, there's probably a lot of sellers. It's probably a little heavy. But at the same time, I feel like this stock has strength, and it's a past runner. It's gapping up above its moving averages. It does have strength. People will jump in if it's the right setup. And this one was a great setup. It pulled back to the 90 EMA on low volume, right? 308,000 versus 716 and 1 million. This 5-minute candle had 1 million shares traded, or more than 1 million, right? So it pushes back, good consolidation, and then it moves up. Right, so from here, from 350 all the way up to 380, 390, that's about 40 cents per share. So even if I move in with only 200 shares, I'm locking in good 30, 40 cents. And if I can continuously do that, guys, if I can continuously lock in 20 to 30 cents on every trade, that is a winner for me. And the losers, I'm only giving away 5 to 10 cents on the same amount of shares. I think I'm going to start seeing consistency. And once I get to that mental state where I can pinpoint these plays and know which ones have the potential to move and which one don't, and my brain gets used to the same strategy that, okay, if it drops in this volume, Snapchat is expected to begin trading on the New York Stock Exchange soon. Once the exchange begins accepting snap orders, we can only accept limit orders. Until the share prices has been determined and trading begins. Okay, so Snapchat is going live today. That'll be exciting to see. I guess the ticker's gonna be Snap. So I don't know when is it going live, but we'll just pull it up. Well, the symbols there. Snap in Class A common stocks. Interesting. Okay, I've never really seen an IPO, especially of a big company like that, happening on the day off, so this is exciting for me, I guess. But yeah, guys, so what I was saying is, once I start seeing some sort of consistency, once I start saying, my trades are working, I'm able to pinpoint the right entry, I'm able to pinpoint the right exit. You're never gonna be right 100% of the time, and that's something I expect. And I'm willing to take. I'm willing to accept that I'm never gonna be right 100% of the time. The only thing I can do best is just make sure that when I'm wrong, I move out. Earlier this week, I think it was today is Thursday. On Tuesday, I had a trade on NFEC. Now NFEC was interesting right here. This is my trade. Now NFEC was interesting. I came across it on Twitter. Deckmark Trades were talking about it, one of the trading chat rooms. I see their tweet that NFEC was moving. So I pull it up and I like the chart. It's a previous runner, it's above its moving averages, and it's it's gaining volume. And I saw it like right around here, like on this candle basically, right? So it got volume, pulls back. And then I was like, it pulls back to the 90 EMA in 1 minute. It just started moving up. There's room. If it breaks 130, if it breaks this 130 level, there's room up to the 140s. If it can get past that, we could potentially see 150s. So I was like, there is some room. Plus, I'm buying it in the 120s. So I got in on 121 for this 1 minute setup. And I hung around, and that's where I got out. Now, I have a lot of chances of getting out break even right around here. Within these 2-3 minute candles, I have a lot of chances to get out break even. But I didn't. I was giving it some time because I thought volume will come back. But what I need to realize is that if I go in a stock, if I'm in a right stock, it's going to move immediately. Every trade I've had where I've had winners, as soon as I jumped in or as soon as my order got executed, the stock just started going towards my direction. Those were the best trades. Those are the easiest trades. Those are when you're in the gimme trades, like where it's just gonna be good money. It's just gonna come fast, and you're on the right side at the right time. But when the trade moves, especially on this nice curl, nice setup. When this candle makes a new high, when it comes back to the 90 EMA, which is a clean 1 minute pullback, and this candle makes a new high and we don't get volume, and it just hangs around there, moves up, but then it gets pushed down, just can't seem to do anything, I need to get out. And if I can just remember those things, while I'm trading, while I'm in a trade, and I think that's the hardest part, because while I'm in this trade, I was looking for everything that'll tell me that the stock is moving in my direction. So when I saw this candle get to 125, I was like, that's it. now we're moving. But I still didn't realize that, hey, I need to see if there's one. If this candle's moving to 125, why aren't traders jumping in? Why aren't they jumping in to take out this 130 level, right? Why aren't people coming in to take this out? And it's just as a trader, you just need to be able to realize those things, and these things happen all the time. So for me to realize that, if I would have realized that, I could have got a break even, but I ended up losing about 50 some dollars on this with fees and everything. So those are the kind of things that I'm working on. Moving forward, in March, I'm going to be taking smaller trades, smaller size. With smaller size, I'm going to be able to have a bit more wiggle room, okay? B, I'm going to be able to be more patient and think clearly. When I have, for NFEC, for example, I went in big. I went in with 700 shares, and that's huge, because if the stock would have dropped 10 cents or, quickly plummeted down to, 15, 20 cents, I would have been down a lot just on that one trade. So me going in with big size obviously clouds my judgment. I don't see things clearly as much because I'm in with big size and they have to work out in order for me to make money. And since I'm in with big size, I want the stock to just move. And if it doesn't, I'm like, I'll give it time. I think those are the things that need to be worked on. And if I can do it with a smaller share size, and then scale up as my confidence gets better, as my mentality gets more towards trading mentality, I feel like then I can earn some sort of an edge. Until then, if I'm just, and this is my last account. If this account doesn't work out, if I blow up this account, I'm out of the game. I'm out of the game for I don't know how long. I don't know, because once I'm out of this game, I'm gonna have to focus on regular work. I'm gonna have to focus on, after graduation, just looking for a regular job to pay rent and pay all that stuff, right? Because I'm basically graduating this April, and I'm starting the real world, and so I need to have something figured out with trading so I can continue doing this moving forward. Because if I'm out of this account, I don't have any money to refill it, and if I don't have any money to refill it, I just won't be able to trade for a while, right? And that's just gonna mentally affect me, because I prefer doing this. I like doing this. It's something that I want to do as a career. Just be able to become a good trader, where I can do this just from the comfort of my home. I can travel, I can just live that lifestyle, and I know that's the lifestyle that we all aspire to be or achieve. And it's not easy. Just being in it, I realize it's not easy work. So I don't like to say if, I like to say when. Once I do get there, once I do get to that lifestyle, I'll be able to look back and be like, what, I deserve this, because this is hard work, guys. Trading is probably the hardest thing that I've ever tried to accomplish, ever tried to get my mind right about it. It's hard. So just based on all that, moving forward, March, I'm not trading today. I'm just kind of watching the markets, which is all good, because markets have been a little weird. Some of the setups have not been as clean. So the timing has been weird. Usually there's more volatility the first minute, but now it just seems like, or the first 30 minutes, but lately there's been some stock that have been running towards lunch hour. So there have been some variables to the market lately. So because of that, if I go in with smaller size and I can understand this market, I can break down the code. I can just look for these kind of 5-minute setups where they're good low volume pullbacks, pulls back to the 90 EMA, pulls back to some sort of support level, and then the candle makes a new high, and I can jump in only on those. And as soon as I jump in and they start moving in my direction, and once they don't, I realize that and I quickly get out. I think those are the kind of things that are going to keep me afloat. Those are the kind of things that are going to and my goal for March is, honestly, I want to close this month green. I don't care if I close this month with a $1 profit in the whole month, with a bunch of trades, and I'm only over $1. My goal is to close this month green. The reason being is because every month that I've traded, throughout my trading career, every one of them ended red. Just because obviously I'll have more losses than wins. If I can close a month green, I'm not just saying one trade that's green and I'll just not trade again. I just need to have a good month where I tried my hardest, I was consistent, and I was able to close the month green. Just achieving that would be such a big step forward for me, that moving into April, I can be more confident. And if the setup starts working, then I can always scale up. I'm not worried about scaling up. I can scale up 2 years from now. I can, for next 2 years, I can just start taking 200, 300 shares, 100 shares trades, and just lock in $20, $30, $40 a day, right? If I can do that a day, just locking in that money, it's just going to be such a great confidence booster for me. It's just going to be an eye-opener, because then I'm going to realize that, hey, if I can do this on 300 shares on this setup, on this specific setup, every time it comes, I can make 30 cents on it. You know what? Next time it comes, I'm gonna take it with 500 shares, right? And then if that works, right, and which it will, if it if I stay consistent and stay disciplined, then the next time that trade comes, I can take it with 1,000 shares. And that's all scaling in is. Scaling up is not the hardest part. Just understanding that what you can do with 200 shares, you can do the same thing with 2,000 shares. That's the easy part. Just realizing what you need to do with 200 shares versus 2,000 shares is the hard part, right? I mean, obviously with 200 shares, I can take the same trade. I can take the same trade with 2,000 shares, but they both will have a different mental effect on me, right? And that's something I need to work up to, because sometimes as soon as I get money in my account, I start taking big sizes, and I think that's what affects me mentally, because I'm not ready to take those sizes, and that's why most of my trades don't work, is because mentally I'm taking too huge of sizes, and I'm just not mentally there. So my brain starts working out differently, and then the trade doesn't go in my favor, and I just think that the market's fault, the market's against me. But maybe if I was just taking smaller size, like if I would have taken smaller size on NFEC, maybe I would have been able to realize that this is taking way too long, I don't like it, I'm just gonna bail out, right? If I would have taken since I took a huge size, it was just kind of like, oh, this has to work, I'm in with the huge size, if this moves 10-20 cents, I can make $70, or if it moves 10 cents, I can make $70. If it moves 20 cents, I can make $140. That's what I was thinking. That's what the back of my head was, and that's wrong mentality. Like, you cannot be a good consistent trader with that sort of mentality. So this, I just wanted to make this little video. I wasn't gonna record today. I just wanted to watch the markets, but I felt like, me making this video, me recording, I can always listen back to it. If next week I feel like, I want to jump in with bigger size, I can always listen back to this video and be like, no, you know what, Yusuf, you need to just stick to your plan for March, take smaller position, stick to good setups. And with setups, I've been a lot better with setups. The only thing is, sometimes I don't consider other variables in those setups. Sometimes I'll just jump in, even if the stock's all the way up here. For example, I did that with BASI. I'll show you with BASI. I did that on Tuesday as well, right here. So as you guys can see, the stock is basically, it goes all the way up, it pulls back a little, and I'm buying it right up here. If I want to buy it this high up, I just need to realize that it needs more of a pullback. Me buying all the way up near the high of day, just wait for the break of high. If you buy break of high day, then you have better chance of it gaining more momentum, it gaining more buyers coming in, or wait for the volume to pick up. I mean, look, these and this push and this push were about the same volume, right? Versus these pushes, right? It kind of, the volume went down, and then volume came back in, and then it pushes up to from 220 to 240. I mean, not a huge move, and I need to realize that it's kind of hanging its day. It doesn't hold its spikes in the past, so it's probably not gonna move as much. Even if it moves up, it'll probably move up 10-20 cents, just because the stock doesn't move and hold its spike. It usually gets pushed down. So even if it moves another 10-20 cents, it's just gonna get pushed right back down. So it doesn't have it doesn't have a previous chart that makes major move 2-3 days in a row, where I can feel comfortable that if it starts moving up again, it can move up again and stay around that level. So those are the things that I need to consider. Whether I'm going on a 5-minute setup or a 1-minute setup, I just need to realize what the volume is at, what the news is. Has the stock already moved 100-200%? Does it have more momentum? Is it gonna be heavy? And I need to watch that stock when it's coming down. I need to see that, is this looking heavy? Is this moving down on really high volume? A lot of sellers are coming in selling the stock, or is it just moving on low volume where there's no buyers? People are just selling, on the bid, just kind of taking their profits, healthy pullback, and then it starts moving up again, right? The difference in the pullback is you need to realize whether it's a healthy pullback or whether it's just a sell-off. And once you can acknowledge that, and that's something I need to work on with smaller size. I need to be able to watch one stock and just pay attention to it, watch how it moves, watch how it acts, and then see, is it showing me strength or is it showing me weakness? And if it's showing me weakness, then I need to stay away. But if it's showing me a healthy pullback where people are just taking profits, on low volume, it's coming back, and then a 5-minute setup, first candle makes a high, volume comes in, jump in. Most likely, 9 times out of 10, that's gonna work. And that's what I need to keep in mind. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna back to live trading. I'll have my watch list, I'll have everything prepared, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll pick it right up. And I took one day off yesterday. There's no video for that, but it's awesome. I felt a lot fresh, I felt a lot better, and now I'm ready to come back for the month of March with a clear head, and just have a plan. I thought about it all day yesterday, what I need to do, what I need to change, and that's what I need to change. I need to go with smaller sizes again, and I need to stick to 2-3 stocks off my watch list. Just pay attention to those and see how they move. One thing I do is I jump around. I'm always looking for momentum, and I don't think I'm there yet. I need to stop acting. I need to be true to myself, and I need to realize where practically I am as a trader. I'm not there where I can pick 4 or 5 stocks off my scanner, off the momentum list, and trade those, and catch the right momentum but by the time they show up on my scanner, momentum's already out of it. Traders have already traded it, and I just need to realize that. So I need to stick to my watch list. I need to stick to stock that have potential in the pre-market, and then just watch how they act around each level, whether it's selling off, whether it's pulling back. I need to just watch those stocks and look for a good entry, look for a good position on those plays. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. I don't need to trade. I don't need to just throw my money away, right? I can always be patient. I can always be on the sideline. And once one of the setups that I'm watching, sets up, or if I see something on a scanner, like scan's not bad. Some of the wins I've had in February was off the scanners, was a momentum stock that was moving. I pulled up, I waited for a setup, and I moved in, and it worked. But that's the whole thing. I just need to be patient even on those. Even if I pull something up from a scanner, I need to be patient. Right? Watch it for like a minute or so. Watch how the price is moving. Watch whether there's a lot of sellers coming in at this price level, or there's a lot of buyers coming in at that price level, right? It's just understanding the tape, understanding the charts, and it's all experience. It's all experience, over and over again. Watching the same things, watching the same pattern take place. Eventually they click into your brain, and that's when you see consistency, and that's what I want to achieve in March. My goal is to achieve that consistency. Be able to go 1 week in March where I have like 4 green days and maybe 1 red day, right? Going through 2 weeks where I have like 7-8 green days and 2 red days, or 3 red days and like 7 green days. It's stuff like that. That consistency I need. Once I get to that consistency level, that means my brain is seeing the right things, and then I can just go full offense, right? I can go on full offense, and start developing those brain tactics even more, where they can spot these chart patterns, spot the right entry, spot these momentums, without like subconsciously. I don't need to pay too much attention to the numbers. I can subconsciously pinpoint those momentum levels that are, this looks like it's selling off. There's a lot more sellers coming in at this price level, or there's a lot more buyers coming in at this price level. and all this is just those things. It's just understanding that, and once I understand it, I know I'm gonna see success in this. So that's what I'm striving for. I'm striving for success. I'm striving for a better, becoming a better day trader. And you know what? Yesterday I just felt like shit. No, sorry, yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was just kind of very down, and taking the day off, it's just such a nice thing. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. I know that's just a long video of me babbling, but it's good babble. It's even for, if you guys, for me, it's great. So hopefully you guys watch this, learn something, pick something up, and never forget to leave a comment. If you have something to say or something to add, please leave a comment. We're all learning. We're all here to help each other, right? So don't forget to subscribe, guys. And it's been nice chatting. Have a great day.